All right, welcome to episode 17 of Cleveland Business Live. I'm Lisa Cole with eXp Realty, and I'm so excited today to have Matt Milia on with me. Matt is the owner and co-founder of Appointments Today. And welcome, Matt. Thank you for being here.
Thanks. Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we know each other because you're also an eXp agent. And so, that we met at different functions, and your beautiful wife, Stephanie, who I love so much. I hope she's watching, just at different conferences and things like that. And yeah, she's watching. She says, hi, guys. So I just love your and her entrepreneurial spirit. And I love everything that you guys have done. So share with us what Appointments Today is all about and why every business really needs it.
Yeah. So again, first and foremost, thank you for having me on. I'm excited to share the journey because it has been quite a journey. We started Appointments Today. So it was myself and Al Stasek. We started back in 2015, and it was funny because we almost started more or less by accident. We were looking for a couple of different ways to grow our business, and I was his ISA. I started with him at the end of 2012, and I was probably one out of maybe 15, 20 ISAs that did very, very well for him. Wow. That actually worked because he was, he went through the typical hire, fire, merry-go-round.
And for people who don't know what an ISA is?
Inside Sales Associate, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. So this is someone who will essentially call all of your leads. They will basically get you set up so that they'll get you set up so that you can have face-to-face appointments and do what you're best at. But as far as how we got started, I mean, it was more or less to build our own Cleveland real estate company, because we knew that I didn't have enough capacity I was working at least 10, 11 plus hours every day. And what I found very quickly was that is a surefire way to burn out. So especially if you're calling all day long.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how you do that. Wow.
Well, so we decided, Al went to a mastermind, and we were thinking, okay, well, why don't we outsource? Let's find someone virtual. Let's find someone to help. So we started off in the Philippines, and what we learned very quickly was that it was definitely a challenge because there were some language barriers. So I ended up becoming more or less an English teacher, having to help walk them through the process. They did get good though. We found the first two that we interviewed, we absolutely fell in love with them. We're like, these guys are going to be great. It's going to work out very well. Well, what happened is then we realized we didn't have enough leads. So there wasn't enough stuff to call. And we're thinking, okay, well, now we have these two people. How can we make this work? Because we're going to have to let one of them go. So we actually, it was funny because he was coaching at the time. He had a bunch of clients that he was coaching. And one of the clients said, hey, I actually could use an ISA. So we ended up splitting the time, and it worked out because they were paying us, and we're thinking, well, why can't we just do this as a business? So kind of got started by accident, but
okay.
But yeah, in a nutshell, I mean, that is really what we do. We will call your leads. We do speed to lead. We nurture the leads for really as long as you need, and we'll set you up on face-to-face appointments, or of course, nurtures, which is someone, they're not committed to a realtor. They got a house they want to buy or sell within the next 12 months. We have all of their information. We know what's motivating them, and we build it out so that it's a simple process for the agent so that they don't have to worry about the follow-up. We do that so we'll do all the following up until they're ready to meet them face-to-face. So that way they don't have to, because you know what it's like. You're running from appointment to appointment, and yeah.
Right. Until they're ready for an appointment today.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So do you primarily work with realtors still, or you were saying you were branching out?
It's a mix. So we do solar right now is one of them, that is one of the fields that we're in. we're working in the chiropractic field, which is totally outside of the normal scope. And then we're also doing insurance. We're really hands in many different businesses, and we work for a cement and concrete company, calling their leads that come in for redoing the floors and everything. So yeah, we have a pretty wide scope. If you have leads, but you don't have the capacity to call them, that's where we come in.
Wow. And then what about if you don't have leads, but you, because I mean, this is the thing, like every business is faced with the same challenge is how do you grow your client base, And I mean, I've hit the phones for many years. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I do it because it works. There's a lot of people who don't want to do it or won't do it. So, I mean, will you go out and actually find will you harvest leads somehow for people as well?
So yes, so we'll do. I mean, we do have ways where. So for example, we partnered up with a couple of we partnered up with a couple of different lead providers that would essentially allow us to white label them. We bring in white label, so of course no one knows who they are, but we bring them in. They're providing us all of the data, and then we load it up into our system, and then we'll call it. So if someone wants, like for example, for the real estate industry, a lot of people want just listed, just sold. They want neighborhood data. So we'll actually partner up, get the neighborhood data for them, and then we'll make the calls through our system. And then of course we'll actually share a dashboard so they can see everything. So that's one thing that we do. And then I do know how to run Facebook ads. I am pretty good at it, but it's so much. It's very time consuming, and you constantly have to be on top of it. So I generally have other people that'll do that for us, and we'll partner with them and provide leads. So yeah, we have quite a wide scope.
Okay. And so do you find that, when you're in different industries and things like that, do the same rules pretty much apply for the prospecting in each industry, or?
It's a great question. So I think really ultimately a lot of people have what I like to call the shiny object syndrome. So they'll invest in different things and they don't stay in it long enough, and they don't see the results, or they don't get what they're looking for. And ultimately with different industries, it's the same thing. Everyone's trying to find that new lead, the best leads. But a lot of leads, what I found, especially with pay-per-click, where you're going on Facebook or Google leads, there is an incubation period. It takes time for them to go from in discovery mode, they just want to get information, to they're actually interested in potentially making a purchase or buying a house, or inquiring on whatever the product is. So I think really though, from each industry, it varies. The universal principles never change. So the universal principles are follow up early, follow up often, stay in front of them. Don't be robotic when you call people. I've learned that. And no one likes salesy, cheesy, gimmicky stuff. It's all about just building that relationship. It's that know, like, and trust. That's something that for every single, if they know you, they like you, they trust you, they're highly likely to do business with you.
Okay. And so you find, I mean, the biggest tip that you could give people when they're prospecting on their own is just to make that connection.
Make the connection. Yeah. And just stay consistent. I mean, because really and I've used this so many times. It's like going to the gym. Like, you don't go to the gym one day a month and, have all terrible habits. You're eating bad and expect, oh, well, why am I not losing weight? Well, because you're not going enough. You're not putting in that upfront effort. So, and if you don't want to put in that upfront effort, it's totally fine. We have guys that's all they do. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't have the capacity in terms of time to be able to always consistently block out that time as a non-negotiable. I'm going to call for 3 to 4 hours every day. It's very difficult, especially it's easy during like the slower seasons, but when you start to take off, you just told me you have a few listing appointments literally back to back to back. So, I mean,
Do you think I'm prospecting today? Nope.
No, I know you have someone doing that, which is
I'm
awesome.
not.
So,
If I was good, I would have been earlier, but I didn't. So
I get it though. But it's so challenging when you just don't have that time, because you're out in the field, you're meeting, greeting, shaking hands, building rapport, and
right. But you want to keep that. You want to keep that consistency. Otherwise, you're going to ride that roller coaster, that real estate roller coaster, or any roller coaster in any business, and that's not any place you want to be. How long would you say somebody needs to be patient and give themselves when they start prospecting in order to see results?
It's a great question. So a lot of the time, I tell a lot of our clients, it depends on lead sources is one of the first ones, because there are certain lead sources that have a very short average life cycle. A lead may come in, it could be someone that was on Google, they're really interested in buying your product or buying a home, and they get to the point where they need someone to call them right away, have that conversation. You might get somebody right off in the first phone call. But in a lot of cases, I tell people it generally takes about 6 to 12 months for you to really see a massive return on that time that's invested. And it's funny because one of our clients just closed, I want to say he's done 7 or 8 million in volume with us already this year in closing. Now, mind you, one of them was 2 million, so that helped.
Okay.
There was a couple $1 million ones in there, but we were neighborhood calling. We called for him for 3 years.
Wow.
And we got him returns in the other years, but it wasn't like this year. I mean, he's already probably 20x even before he gets to the end. Even if we closed absolutely nothing else for the rest of the year, he's already.
What area is that in?
Colorado.
Okay.
He's in the Denver area, so he does more on he does a lot of properties that are higher end, and then he'll even do some of the lower end stuff too. But we just so happen to neighborhood dial in an area where the average sales price is between 700 and 1.2 million. Wow. And a couple of the people that he had, one of them was selling $1 million house and wanted to move up to a $2 million house. So it worked out very nicely.
Beautiful. So he'll be staying with you for a while.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and you said you were running a little promo. I love when I have a little promo code, Lisa Cole. So if somebody references my name, then they get what do they get?
So essentially, they get basically no upfront fee. I mean, normally our upfront fees generally vary because, of course, it pays for the dialing system, the phones, the internet, all of that fun stuff that goes on behind the scenes. But if they use your name, they don't have any upfront fee, which and the lowest end would save them $500 right up front. So, which is
awesome. Oh, awesome. All right. So then if somebody wants to talk with you more about how they get started or just learning more about the process and how you can help them 200% increase in their business, like you've done for other agents, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
So they can go to my website. It's www.matt and then Milia, MILIA.com. And in there is a video, a little bit about me and what we do, and then they can go ahead and book a demo right there.
Okay. So any of you agents or any of you business owners who are sick of prospecting or who want to grow your business, definitely reach out to Matt because he is awesome. He has a long track record and he's a great guy. So I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. Keep going after it. Everybody have a great weekend.
You too. Thanks. See you guys.